She makes me talk to the school counselor. I tell her what's going on. She has to call Department of Social Services. Okay, let's start at the beginning. So I was born and raised in India. My parents meet, they get married, they have my brother, they have me. Things are going well until I am 2. My dad in a tragic accident. This left my mom to be a single mom to a 5 and a 2-year-old, and she raised us with the help of our family back home in India. Fast forward to 2007. My mom gets married to my stepdad who already lives in America. So we come over here so we can have better access to education, more opportunities, the typical thing. Fast forward to 2009. I'm 12. This is the year that I get into foster care, and I got into foster care because I was SA'd by my stepdad. And in typical gross predator fashion, he convinces me that I can't tell anybody and that it's a secret. And not only that, I don't know how much you know about South Asian culture, but this is something that you do not talk about. So I had no plans to tell a soul until one day, it's the very end of 8th grade, and I am just petrified of getting on the bus, and I wouldn't get on, and I just started crying. My best friend is like, what is going on? And again, I didn't mean to, but I had to tell her why I was a mess. And being the angel that she is, she makes me talk to the school counselor. I tell her what's going on. She has to call Department of Social Services. So I obviously missed the bus. My mom is at work, so they have to call my stepdad to pick me up, and they make up an excuse and say I stayed after school to help with the end of 8th grade celebration. We get home, and I am just trying my best to act like everything is normal because I was terrified because, again, I wasn't supposed to say anything, and my mom is still at work. I had no idea what to expect. What felt like forever, but I'm sure it was just an hour or two later, a social worker knocks on the door. She starts to explain to my stepdad what's going on. And it's a Friday evening, so there's only so much they could do with me here. So I get told to pack for the weekend, and I'm going to go stay with that friend and their family, and that I would be back in a couple of days once they remove my stepdad, which, spoiler alert, never happened.
The next few years of Kajal's life were set to be the hardest yet. And as the secrets unfold, so did all of the security in her life.
So I packed my stuff in a trash bag for the weekend, and I never did go home. I stayed with my friends for a little bit, but I can't keep staying with them because they're not a licensed foster family. So they find me one, I move, and I actually stayed with a few different families. Normally, the goal of foster care is to reconcile kids with family, usually parents, but if that's not possible, usually aunts, uncles, grandparents. Us being immigrants and all of our family being back home, I only have one option, which is to be back with my mom. It starts to become obvious that my mom is not going to be leaving my stepdad, and it turns out I did have a couple of other options. One of them is to stay in foster care until I age out at 18 or I get adopted. One day, my social worker asks me to go to a cookout, and she said she wanted me to go so I could have some fun and to get my mind off of things. And I said, okay. I go and I meet this girl who is a couple of years older than me. We clicked and we hang out at the cookout, and we start hanging out after the cookout. It turned out my social worker actually wanted me to go to see if I would like them without knowing that they might potentially be my foster family.
After losing her biological family and living in foster care, Kajal was finally about to have a forever family that loved her unconditionally.
And then she asked me one day if I want to live with them. And I said, duh, I'm already friends with this girl. It'll be like a sleepover every night. Some time goes by. I keep staying with them because we're a good fit. Some foster parents will foster to adopt, but my foster parents had 2 biological children already. They had a 22-year-old and a 16-year-old. They weren't necessarily looking to adopt. This was just something nice that they were doing because 2 years before this, my foster mom had a heart attack and she was in a coma for a while, and she really wasn't supposed to make it. So when she did, it was just a miracle, and they were really, really grateful, and they wanted to get back. And I was their very first foster kid ever. We were such a good fit that they adopted me. It was easy, it was seamless, it was natural. I was 14 when everything was finalized. I absolutely love my adopted family, and things are going well until I'm 16 and my adopted mom very suddenly passes away.
This shattering news left Kajal heartbroken again. But it was the catalyst to forming a relationship with her biological mother.
This one was really hard. This woman was amazing. She was unconditional love. Her passing away is one of the reasons why I have chosen to have a relationship with my biological mother. I have a relationship with her with healthy boundaries, and I have a really good relationship with my brother. I visited them, they visited me, they were at my college graduation, they were at my pharmacy school graduation. I don't want to be bitter. I want to be compassionate. These are going to sound like excuses to some people, but I'm going to choose to acknowledge the fact that my mom was a badass single mom. She was raised in a different culture. She was new to a country trying her best. And a lot of the reasons that I am the woman that I am today is because of the way she raised me. I know my mom did not want to give me up. Our culture cares a lot about what people think. So my mom was trying to figure out an option to protect our reputation as well as keeping me at home, which just wasn't going to happen. She had 3 options, which were to give up custody, guardianship, or rights. She really didn't want to give up her rights to me, but the only reason she did that is because it was the only option of the 3 that allowed me to get free college for an undergraduate degree. Could things have been different? Yeah. Does it hurt my feelings every single time I think about the fact that this woman still lives with him? Yeah. But something that helps me a lot is to look at her as a person. And even our parents are just people, and people mess up. Having healthy boundaries with her allows me to look at her as a person without minimizing my experience. I'm not going to sit here and pick apart my life for what it could have been. I think it's a lot more peaceful to find the beauty in the life that I got than to wish for a different one. So that's the story. I hope that me sharing my story helps at least one person. Lastly, thank you to every single person that commented and showed their support, told me congratulations, or that you were proud of me. It means a lot. I hope you have a good day.
Let's dive straight into that comment section, shall we? First up, we found a guy who left a comment saying, "I hope he was punished. This makes me so mad, but I can hear how secure and confident and forgiving you've become. Good luck." Next, we found a message from another viewer that said, "I'm so sorry this happened to you, and thank you for sharing your story. Makes me really upset that there are people who intentionally harm others." Then we found a note from a woman praising them for her compassion towards the situation. "You are such a strong, wise, compassionate person. Yes, immigrant mothers are flawed, unsupported, and scared." As always, thanks for watching Happiest. If you liked this video, then be sure to follow our Instagram and TikTok pages for even more interesting videos like this. And if you've got any of your own you want to share, be sure to send them in.